How's it going, everybody? This is Catfish on Ice, milestone episode, Rich. It is episode 200.
Who would have ever thought?
We got the 2 in front now. We have moved out of the 100s. And, Rich, a little bit of a quick trivia question. When did we record episode 100? Would you even know when to guess when that was? When we recorded episode 100, how long ago that was?
I don't remember. But I know we had all of our favorite people on.
Yes, it was the listener appreciation episode.
Yeah,
I do
awesome.
remember that.
But I don't remember
it seems like it wasn't that long ago. January 22nd or January 28th of 2022.
Wow.
Doesn't seem like we're literally coming up on 2 years ago.
It's like almost 2 years. Wow.
When we did that, and it doesn't seem like that. And it's a lot of those listener appreciation friends. We're still friends with those same people now, and they still join the episodes all the time. So if we get to see them tonight, we will say hello. But yes, it's episode 200. Thank you to all of our loyal listeners who have been sticking with us through all of these episodes. We truly love bringing this podcast to you. It is a passion of ours. We have jobs outside of this, but we love talking Predators hockey with all of our friends. We love getting on here and doing this podcast with you. Rich, how you doing, man? How's the last few weeks been for you, getting ready for the Preds regular season to begin here very shortly?
It's been pretty good. Weather's cooling off a little bit, so that's good. There's hockey back on, so I'm able to watch some hockey.
Yes.
I went to the my daughter goes to Eastern Kentucky University, and they had their home opener hockey game.
I saw that. I saw you share some of the pictures. How was that, man?
It was a lot of fun. It was really cool. They beat, I don't even remember who they were playing, but they beat them 7-2. There was a big fight at the end. College kids fighting. It was interesting. It was fun. The bad part was at midnight. The game was at midnight. And it wasn't over till like 3 a.m. Predators just scored a goal.
Predators just scored. I missed the goal.
Tommy Novak.
I have to wait for the replay. Looks like our guy Tommy Novak gets the Predators on the board. First of all, really, really solid home crowd here for this preseason game. I got to show a lot of love to the Smashville fans for showing up on a Wednesday night. No less, for this preseason game. The crowd looks really into it. Good job. I know they're feeding off that energy. And what a wrister by Novak.
That was crazy. He had a good
That is a crazy accurate shot that Novak just showed off from outside the circle.
Good for him.
Quick wrister, right top shelf. Preds on the board, just their third goal of the preseason.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Well, hey, let's not get too over dramatic about it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, 11 goals scored on them, and they've scored 3.
Although I will say, and we're going to get more into it, we're watching right now. It's third period, Preds and Lightning. And preseason game number 3 for the Predators, which honestly, it feels more like their first real preseason game because the doubleheader against the Panthers, although they do count as preseason games, they're split rosters. So you're not really trotting out your full team, and it just feels different. This actually feels like a dress rehearsal, real preseason game.
Yeah.
And so you're looking for it. You're seeing your A squad out there for the Predators. You're seeing what Andrew Burnett, how he's feeling about line combinations right now. He could obviously change those as the preseason moves along and stuff, but at least you're getting an idea of how he feels right now about the line combinations. And just got to say, a big thing was pretty interested to see how the first line looked in this preseason game. And he sticks Dennis Garyanov up there with Ryan O'Reilly and Forsberg. I did not expect that.
That's probably not going to stick, but whatever. They've got a Skarov is in there.
Yes.
So that's cool.
Well, I will say, though, I think that top line winger spot is up for grabs.
Yeah, I agree.
We know it's going to be Forsberg and O'Reilly.
Yeah.
We don't know who's going to slot in on that other wing for opening night. Yeah. I think Andrew Burnett is trying to figure that out as well.
Yeah, I agree.
There, that's pretty interesting.
It was, yeah. It's Forsberg has had some good looks tonight.
He has.
He's missed like 5 or 6 pretty good looks, but he hadn't played hockey in a while. So
I was about to say that's to be expected. The guy's been out. This is his first live hockey game action since February 11th.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
That is a long time.
You can do all the practice. You can do all your practices. You can simulate things in practices. You can do all the scrimmages you want. I'm sure he's been staying fresh and getting his body ready. But this is the timing is going to be off. The accuracy on his shot's going to be off a little bit, and we've seen that. He's had looks tonight.
Oh yeah.
One thing I'm noticing that's really different in Andrew Burnett's system, and it's been advertised just as this, and it's been very clear that the Predators are going to be a team that really emphasizes getting the puck up ice as quick as possible.
Yes, I've noticed that as well, and it's worked pretty well tonight so far. It looked like there's been a couple of miscommunications, but yeah, they're definitely picked the speed up for sure. So that's encouraging. I like that.
Yes, and so good on that goal that the Predators just scored. Tommy Novak gets the preseason goal there. Tyson Barrie, you see his vision as a quarterback. He's a lot like what Matthias Ekholm was, which is interesting enough because those two were traded for each other.
Yes.
Tyson Barrie is a lot like Matthias Ekholm and similar to Roman Josi. He is a very good offensive defenseman who can set players up, who can find scoring opportunities for his line mates. And that's what he did on that goal just now from Tommy Novak. Yep. So good stuff there, showing the crowd here. Again, I think it's a really, really solid home crowd for a preseason game. So nice job by the Predators fans. They look really into it and really amped up about it.
I went to a preseason game a couple of years ago. I think they played Carolina. I don't remember. And there wasn't nowhere near that many people there. That's good. That's good to see.
I think the fans are extremely excited and energized with the fresh new outlook that this franchise has. But we're going to continue to talk about this game, talk about some more preseason standouts so far, some players that are really setting themselves apart, not only in the preseason games that we've watched so far, but also throughout the training camp practices as well. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit more. Want to get into some other topics, including one that's really been sticking on my mind lately, and that is the fact that Kevin Lankinen is returning for his second year as backup to Saros, and how much different, for one, is Brunette going to handle Saros' workload from how Hines handled Saros' workload. And, Lankinen only had 19 starts. I'd have to go back and look. 19 games. He appeared in 19 games.
Yeah.
But put up great numbers. Put up actually almost the identical numbers to Saros. Almost identical.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just didn't have nearly as many starts or nearly as many shots that he faced and stuff like that. But it really makes me think, and we're going to talk about this more later in the episode, do the Predators have one of the better 1-2 punches in net in the league? And we can look at some other teams who have really good goalie combos as well.
Absolutely.
But I look forward to hear your thoughts on that, Rich, because that can be a total game changer when the grind of the regular season hits us in March and April. You're going to need a fully rested Saros. We've talked about this so many times in the past. You're going to need a rested Saros, a Saros that's not beaten down from having to start 10, 15 games in a row before he gets a rest. So let's see if they trust Kevin Lankinen a little bit more this year to bump Saros' starts down to maybe less than 60. I'm thinking less than 60.
Me too. That's what I want to see for sure.
All right.
Preds are on
also
the power
want to get
play.
your thoughts. I want to get your thoughts, Rich, as well, on how do you feel about the Preds power play units and what you think those are going to look like?
Yes.
Because that's also going to be something to keep an eye on. And we're going to go back and look at the last 100 episodes and pick some of our favorite moments. I got a really good one that I totally forgot about it as I was scanning through all the episodes since episode 100. Great. And there's one from episode 124. I'm going to share the audio when we get there. Awesome. It made me die laughing because I honestly forgot all about this segment.
That's funny.
I'll look through and find some other ones as we continue to roll on here. But thanks for joining us, everybody, for Catfish and Ice episode 200 with Chad Minton and Rich Howe, your host, part of the Hockey Podcast Network, and presented by DraftKings with promo code THPN. We'll tell you more about DraftKings later in the episode in our current offer. So, want to go back and look at just the roster. First of all, there are some key Predators that aren't playing tonight.
Yes.
Colt Sissons is not in there tonight.
That's weird.
That's one that you would expect to be in the starting lineup eventually. But for the most part, you're seeing the Preds A squad tonight.
You are, and you're not seeing Tampa Bay's A squad.
Not even close.
That's why it's
not even close.
Concerning.
It's a little concerning. Tampa's they're not playing Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, Victor Hedman, Sergachev, Vasilevsky's not in net.
No.
What
he's
else?
Hurt.
Who else?
I heard them say he's hurt.
Well, but he's going to be fine. He actually practiced today.
Sure. Oh, did he?
Yeah, he'll be fine. So you can go ahead and kiss those fantasies goodbye of Vasilevsky missing the season opener.
That's funny.
I know people were thinking about it, but no,
I don't see how he could ever get hurt. How could he ever get hurt? His pads are massive.
Yeah, but when you're that massive of an individual, it's actually pretty easy to tweak some things, I would assume.
I guess his pads are just really big.
Someone check into that dude's pads.
Yeah, look how big they are.
No Tanner Jeannot.
Yeah,
Tanner Jeannot's not in for the Lightning tonight.
No, Austin Watson's in for the Lightning. Did you see that?
Yeah, and he got in a fight with McCarron. I thought that was a pretty good little scrum for the preseason anyway.
Yeah, not bad. I wonder what brought that on. Austin Watson's probably asking him for a fight. He's like, man, you got to help me get on this team.
Right.
He'd fit in perfect with those guys. That's funny.
Yeah, so definitely not an even matchup in terms of rosters. Mm-mm. But, I got to throw this out there right now. I think that the preseason is more important for a team like the Predators than it is for a team like the Lightning.
Yes.
I mean, preseason is important for every team. Every team wants to get out there and shake the rust off and work out some things. But this preseason is way more crucial for the Predators to figure out who they are more so than I think the Lightning are.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why you're not seeing Kucherov out there. You're not seeing Braden Point out there. So you're not seeing Stamkos. Stamkos isn't out there.
Yeah, the Lightning know what they're going to do. They're going to do basically what they did last year. It's basically the same team. I don't remember if they lost anybody or not, but Predators had to fill two big, huge holes in Matt Duchene and Ryan Johansson. So, it's you can kind of see there's a little bit of the growing pains going on because they're not quite there yet, which is understandable. But
a lot of people are down on the Lightning this year, though, which I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Yeah, I heard that.
I mean, I've seen fifth place is like the very popular position I'm seeing for them prediction wise.
Yeah. Also, there's a little bit of a rumbling about Stamkos that he's not happy that he hasn't been extended yet or whatever. So
you read some of the prominent journalists that cover the Lightning, and a lot of them are saying we shouldn't panic over it yet, but it is an issue. If I was a Lightning fan, I would be sweating this out a little bit.
Yeah,
that you haven't re-signed him yet.
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably not very happy.
That's something we're all going to have to follow for sure. We're about to talk about some of our biggest preseason standouts so far throughout this game and also the doubleheader against the Florida Panthers, which we didn't see players like Forsberg and Yossi participate. We're seeing their preseason debuts tonight. But before we get to that, have a pretty long strand of messages here from our friend Shashka Tooth Tiger. Jumped in pregame before we actually went on live. The chat room is still open throughout the day, so sometimes we'll start the episode already with some comments. And Really, I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it's a really long. But basically, Saskatoon Tiger is a big believer in Yakov Trenin.
Yeah. Yep. Who's not playing tonight?
That's another player that's not playing tonight. There's also some. I found it kind of interesting that Dante Fabro and Jeremy Lazon are not in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, Mark Delgazzo and Spencer Stastny taking their place.
I find that
I do too
to be quite interesting because I know there's more preseason left and that players don't play every preseason game. They sit out some of the preseason games. But I think Brunette is wanting to experiment with what he's got in a younger and more offensive-driven third pairing defensive possibility. And so that's why he goes Stastny and Delgazzo. I mean, that's – I'm not saying that's for sure going to happen, and it means more than it means, but it is interesting.
I think Fabro played in the first game against the Panthers when they got blanked.
So he was basically their top pairing. He was basically their top pairing defenseman in that first preseason game against the Panthers.
Yeah,
he quarterbacked the top power play unit. I don't think he looked too bad, but it was, like I said, it's so hard to really measure those two doubleheader games when you're splitting your squads like that.
Yeah, and you got they're swapping goaltenders a lot, and I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. It's not. It's like you said earlier. It's not really. It doesn't seem like an actual preseason game. It's more like I don't even know, like a scrimmage or something. I don't know.
It feels more like a scrimmage. So let's talk about some more preseason standouts so far. I've got one that's actually I've really enjoyed watching so far, and that's Gustav Nyquist.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting good reviews out there. I'm thinking more and more that the organization is really hoping he can be a better version of what Mikael Granlund didn't live up to be.
Didn't quite make it.
That steady veteran presence on the wing that's going to make players around him better, the younger players. So you're seeing a lot of talk that Cody Glass and Gustav Nyquist will play on a line together, that they complement each other's games well, and that Glass has even been learning from Nyquist throughout training camp. So that's pretty interesting there. And that's what Barry Trotz has already been on record of saying, that the reason why they went out and got these veterans over the offseason is because Barry Trotz's philosophy is this: you've got young talent. The last thing you want to do is crush their confidence by throwing them in to situations that they're not ready to succeed in quite yet.
Dante Fabro.
I mean, Dante Fabro was thrown to the fire at a very young age.
Ellie Tolvanen. Almost Philip Tomasino.
I think we can salvage Philip Tomasino.
I think he lucked out maybe, but I think and once they start gelling, I think that's going to pay dividends for them. The older players helping the young guys. It might take a little bit, and we might be disappointed at the beginning of the season, but I think once they get everything ironed out, they'll be fine. It already is a different looking. The whole system looks different already, so that's encouraging. So, they just need to iron some stuff out.
I really like the idea of a Nyquist, Glass, Novak line possibly, because we know that Glass and Novak have really good chemistry together. So you want them to carry that on to a new season, but throw Nyquist in there as a veteran. I like the thought of that. So that seems like we're starting to get some clues from what Brunette's leaning towards in some of these line combinations. Yeah. Yep. No Juuse Parsons tonight either. He is also for the Predators. He was dated. He was actually day to day early in training camp, and Brunette made it clear it's nothing too serious, but that he was held out of practice. Yeah, we don't want him hurt. No reason to rush a player into the fold if you don't have to for preseason. Absolutely not. He's one of the ones I'm looking forward to seeing this year. All right, so we're still watching this preseason matchup with the Lightning. 7 minutes to go in regulation. It's a 1-1 game. Tommy Novak got the Preds on the board. Shots on goal are 26-20 in favor of the Predators. I think they've done overall a pretty good job defensively tonight against a Tampa Bay Lightning squad that's playing a lot of guys that aren't going to even be in their starting lineup when these two teams face off each other in Tampa on October 10th to open the regular season. A game I can't wait to go to. I'll be there. Oh, yeah. Really excited. I'm going with a Lightning fan, though, Rich.
Oh, are you?
I'm going with a buddy of mine who's a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. So
that's all right.
He promises that he'll be very cordial and not.
Oh. He might get his feelings hurt.
I'm expecting to see a good turnout of Preds fans down there. One thing I've been doing this whole journey. I've talked about it before, where I want to cross off every road arena in the NHL.
Yes.
I've never actually watched the Predators play at Tampa Bay's arena. I've only watched. Right. I watched him. I went with my buddy who's the Dallas Stars fan, and so I have been to Amalie Arena. I've never actually been there to watch them play the Preds, though. So it's gonna be I'm gonna officially cross that off my bucket list. Seeing the Preds play in every road arena. So knock that one off. Preds fans travel really well. When I went down there to see them play the Panthers this past year, I was very pleasantly surprised to see so many Predators fans all the way down there in South Florida.
Yeah,
play the Panthers.
Yeah, that's awesome. You should get you one of those maps that has all the arenas and put a puck in it or something.
Well,
that'd be cool.
It's kind of, here's what makes this difficult, this whole journey. I'm starting to find this out. Even though the Predators are in the Western Conference, you want to knock out all these East Coast teams because, we live more on the East Coast, closer to the East Coast. They only play once a year.
Yeah.
These East Coast teams on the road. Yeah. So you get one chance to knock off a certain team. And that is hard to plan around.
That is.
So this year, I'm going to try to knock off Carolina off my list.
That'd be cool.
I can pull that one off.
Wouldn't be too bad. Yeah.
If I really can pull it off, I'd like to knock off Carolina and St. Louis. I haven't been to St. Louis yet either.
That's right. You've been to Columbus.
Been to Columbus. That was actually a really nice arena. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah. And then Dallas, obviously.
Been to Dallas. Dallas was cool. Although their arena songs are so incredibly annoying.
You don't like the Pantera?
They have this really dumb Dallas Stars. They have this really dumb chant where they just go stars, 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 and it's just like, could we have not come up with something a little bit better?
Is that not the goal song? The Pantera goal song?
Yeah, no, so the Pantera is actually pretty cool, but they have this like in-game chant where they just yell stars, stars, and it's just like, can we come up with something a little bit better?
That's weird.
But all right. Predators trying to eke out these 4 minutes so they can get the preseason point in the stands.
Preseason point.
The all-important point, preseason point. We got to salvage a point here. Ooh. So, important note, I don't want to jinx him, but Askarov has not given up a goal yet in this preseason.
Yeah.
He's limited action, but made 9 saves against the Panthers and didn't give up a goal. He relieved Juuse Saros.
He did.
In the second Preds game against the Panthers, and Saros did not look too great.
Yeah, he got lit up. Like I was watching it, and then I saw that they were having internet issues in the arena, so they couldn't stream it to the website. So I didn't get to watch hardly any of the second one, but when I did watch, it was like 3-0 in the first like 20 minutes, and I was like, oh, that's ugly. So
did have a couple goals in that game though, in that second game.
Yeah, penalties killed him. Lots of penalties.
So Jake Livingstone got a goal.
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of that guy, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, the underdog story of Jake Livingstone, undrafted. He gets thrown into NHL starting lineup minutes late in the season. No one knew what to expect from this guy. Yep. And he actually played he held his own on that third pairing in the short amount of time he got. I'm really, really excited to see his progression. And even if he is more of a full-time AHL player the rest of the way, if the opportunity presents itself, I would like to see Livingstone get another chance at some starts in the NHL. If the opportunity presents itself, whether that's through injuries or for some other reason. I'm a big fan of Jake Livingstone, the story that he has.
Yeah. Well, even if he isn't the AHL, seems like a player you can count on, when he does get called up, that, he'll perform well. So that's, that's encouraging.
He should be a really good piece for the Milwaukee Admirals at the very least.
Yeah.
Another preseason standout. You love this player. Our fan base just loves this player. How about Andrew Brunette just ranting and raving over Cole Smith?
Yeah. You could hear Facebook on fire when that happened.
The quote was, Andrew Brunette, the quote was, Cole Smith on Forsberg line, that line was buzzing. And immediately everyone started drawing these hasty conclusions, mostly on Facebook, that Cole Smith was going to be on the top line to open the season. I'm like, y'all got to calm down.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It's not
going to happen.
You're reading way too much into it. Literally, this is training camp. They're going to tinker with all different kinds of crazy line combinations.
Yeah, just to see
Pump
what he's
the
got.
brakes, step away from the ledge. And even if Cole Smith were to be on the top line, which it's not going to happen, I would still like to think that Andrew Brunette knows more than we do.
Yeah.
I would like to think that.
I'm pretty sure he does. Man, the Preds are on the power play.
I don't care what you say, though. Cole Smith is a dude that earns every chance he gets. He doesn't have all the talent in the world compared to some of these other players, but the dude makes up for it in how hard he plays the game. There's no denying that. And that's something you can't coach.
He just got lumped. He got the raw end of the deal. When he came here, it was just people were mad and they just took it out on him. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, apparently somebody likes him. Brunette must like him after what he said. So give the guy a chance, folks.
That's all we're saying. All right. So 3 minutes to go. It's still 1-1. Preds on the power play. Is that what you said?
They are on the power play. Yeah, they are.
Power play units. I know the top power play unit for the Predators that they're putting out there has been Forsberg, O'Reilly, Roman Josi, Tyson Barrie, and who was the other one? Novak? Was it? Yeah, it was Novak.
Novak. Yeah.
Which I found. I think that's something that could give us a clue into what. I keep almost saying John Hines. Oh my God! Please, please cure me of that. I'm so sorry. People will come after me hard if I make that mistake too many more times.
Don't even say it.
But yeah, I think that gives us a window into what Brunette's thinking in terms of power play units. I like Novak getting a chance on the top power play unit.
I do too. I mean, I think like I said before, I think once they get going, everything's going to be just fine. I do like the first power play unit. I'm not really sure who's on the second, but there's a lot of big
Evangelista is definitely Evangelista's getting second power play chances. Cody Glass is out there right now. I believe that's Garyanov. Is Garyanov number 15?
No. I'm watching it.
I think that's Garyanov. Yeah, Garyanov's out there on the second power play unit. Definitely doesn't surprise me to see Evangelista out there. The passing has been pretty good.
Yeah,
it's just the problem is they're learning a new system and it's going to take time. This power play unit's looking good though. Evangelista looking for the passing looks great. I mean, it really does look good. I think the biggest problem we've had is just the timing is a little bit off, and the Predators have missed a lot of shots. Like they haven't even made the goalie make a save on a lot of these shots. Their shots, their accuracy has just been a little off, where they're not even making the goalie make a save. So that's something that you just got to work on throughout preseason. You're literally getting your timing back. You're working through it after a long offseason.
That's Forsberg missing the goal like 5 or 6 times. He just, it's his first game back or whatever. I saw an interview with they interviewed Dante Fabro, and he said he felt like their passing was good, He said, but he felt like they're holding on to the puck just a little bit too long. He's like, a half a second means a lot. And they were just keeping it just that one little bit too long, and that was kind of messing them up. So once they get used to everybody, once they get the team pared down to what it's going to be, I think it'll be good. Because that's another thing. They need to build that chemistry, and you don't really know who's even going to you're going to be with yet. Truthfully, you can guess, but you might not. But hopefully they can get that going.
Penalties have definitely been a problem in the first 3 preseason games. That shouldn't surprise us at all. But I don't think that's anything to get overly concerned about. Penalties are going to happen in the preseason. Yeah. Again, these players are rusty. All of them are rusty. And those are things you're going to clean up before you get into the regular season. Those are just, Cody Glass took a pretty bad hooking penalty tonight that he probably knows. He's probably just, coming down on himself, thinking, I cannot do that when these games begin to count. Yeah. Like, you cannot be taking hooking penalties in the offensive zone.
Yeah. I cannot be doing what we did last season. Getting all the absolutely not. Yeah. And plus, I think, in the first 2 games against the Panthers, it's mainly the young guys, and they're probably excited and all amped up. And, you're just going to expect you're going to see some penalties. So
you got a combination of new veterans who've never played with these young guys before, and you've got a new head coach putting in a completely new system. So literally every player on this team is having to learn something new. Even even your Roman Yossi's and your Philip Forsbergs, who have been on this team for several years now, are having to feel like they're new. Everyone's new. Basically, everyone is new, and everyone has a clean slate. That's why everyone is so excited. That's why everyone has this new energy. But it also comes with, and I've been very on record of this, I think the Predators are going to stumble a little bit through the first 10 games. Hope I'm wrong. Yeah. But I think it's going to take more. I think it's going to take 10 to 20 games for the Predators to really find their groove and really get comfortable in what they're doing.
Too. Do you remember what we said? Did we say they're going to split the first 10? 5-5?
Well, we
I don't remember.
I said if they split the first 10, I'll be very happy about that. Yeah. I think I said 5-3-2. I'd be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they got points in 7 of the 10 games and won 5 of them, that would be a huge win.
Yeah.
Be a huge win.
And we're going to overtime, folks.
Preseason overtime hockey, it kind of scares me a little bit because I don't need to see anybody get hurt in these extra 5 minutes.
No.
It's not like we're playing for an extra point here.
No. Yeah, and I don't.
So I get that it's for bragging rights. I get it's for bragging rights or whatever you want to leave feeling like you won on the ice. I get all that, but I think winning in preseason is when no one gets hurt.
Yes,
is the biggest win you can get for the preseason.
Yeah, for sure.
I say the same thing in football preseason. If you can make it out of your preseason games, I love the speed here that Cody Glass has shown tonight. That dude's got more speed than maybe I realized he did. He's actually a pretty fast skater for a center.
That's what's exciting about once they do get going. It's going to be even better. It's going to be amazing.
There was a really good setup pass from Forsberg trying to find O'Reilly earlier in the game.
Yeah.
And O'Reilly's stick, the timing was literally off by a half second, but it would have been such a pretty goal from Forsberg to O'Reilly. I think it was from Forsberg to O'Reilly. It was definitely O'Reilly who had a good shot, had a good look at the shot. But either way, it's just finding that timing.
Yep. And it'll come.
All right, we'll wait for overtime here. Any other players that you've really thought about so far that have stood out for you in the preseason?
Nah, I mean not really. The thing that stood out was I really didn't like Saros in the second Panthers game. That stood out. I know that's not like a positive, obviously, but it's like that's a little scary. Hopefully he'll get settled down. A little scary.
You don't like to see your Vezina goaltender get lit up, even if it's a preseason game.
No. Yeah, the first look at all the money guys tonight. It's been pretty.
So we
good.
got an over. Here's our overtime line here. We've got Tyson Berry, Roman Josi. We got Forsberg, of course. Forsberg just set up. So we got Ryan O'Reilly, Roman Josi, Tyson Berry, and so your veteran. You got your veteran line out there for your first overtime
Are they
unit.
still on the power play?
I don't think so.
I think they are. There was 4 of them.
Are they?
Look like it. Unless I missed something.
Wonder if preseason they do 4-on-4.
Oh, maybe.
Because they're also.
Maybe.
Not sure.
They might.
I thought the power play did expire, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember. I can't hear it, so. Somebody on Facebook was making fun of Pete Weber earlier. I was like, what is the matter with you?
Well, why were they making fun of Pete Weber?
They were like, who is calling this game tonight? Why is he saying Saros? And somebody put on there like, are you joking?
So they've actually asked that before, and both pronunciations are acceptable, is what I've heard.
Yeah. Well, it's Facebook.
So second unit's out now for the overtime. You got McDonough out there. You've got Tomasino's had some really good chances tonight.
Yeah.
I know he didn't score the goal, and that went to Novak, but I would put Tomasino right up there as one of the stars of the game, one of my clutch performers. Throwback to an old segment of this, Joe. But I do think Tomasino's had a really encouraging game tonight, despite not scoring.
Yeah, he had a breakaway.
He's had some really good looks
too that he missed, but it was still a good look.
I still have no clue where they're going to put Tomasino in the lineup. Which line? It's so up in the air.
It's weird.
Rich, are you ready for that first? So that on that game day, October 10th, when they release the line combinations, are you ready for all of the Monday morning quarterbacks that come out there and armchair GMs? They come out there and bash. Oh, I would have put this player there, and it's so stupid to put that player there. I mean, are you ready for it, Rich? Because it's going to be. It might break the internet.
I'm going to have to prepare. Bad. Yeah, because there's lots of people who know better. So just got to prepare yourself for that.
That was actually, I spoke earlier about that good look that O'Reilly had. That was actually from Josi that found O'Reilly. That could have been a really, really good looking goal if O'Reilly just could have gotten his stick on it a little bit better.
Oh, Cody Glass just committed a penalty.
Oh wow, that's 2 for him tonight. That's 2 bad penalties for him tonight.
Yep.
So I've got I don't know if you saw this, Rich, but I also this is that time of year where everyone has a hot take about the preseason.
Awesome.
Did you see my tweet about it? Because
I did, but tell everybody.
So basically, you can find every tweet out there, and it starts with, I know it's preseason, but insert bold hockey take.
Yep.
I've come across so many of those tweets, and it's starting to give me like a really bad migraine, and I just want the preseason to be over now because I'm tired of seeing it.
Yeah, I know. Me too. 13 days.
I've also made the decision that anytime I share a GIF while I'm live reacting to the game, I'm only allowed to use the Office GIFs.
Oh, that should be good though.
Only the Office. That is my library of GIFs that I'm going to use when describing live games for the Predators this year. When we're doing our watch-along episodes, when we're doing all that stuff, that's the theme I'm going to use this year. Only Office GIFs.
Yep.
All right, we got our friend Nick on YouTube asking how much time left in the overtime. First of all, welcome Nick to the podcast. We appreciate you watching on YouTube. We got 3 minutes left here.
3 minutes.
And the Predators are killing.
It's a 4-on-3. Yep.
It's 4-on-3.
Cody Glass. Come on, boys. It's funny that
Askarov's got the blue pads out there.
Yep. It's funny.
This is going to be good learning moment for Askarov here, though.
Yeah.
Good save. Right on schedule. Askarov makes a really good save. He times it. He's seeing the puck really well. I don't want to jinx him, but Askarov is seeing the puck really well in this overtime period. He's tracking it very well. You're seeing it.
He's big.
He covers post to post.
He is a big dude.
He covers the post to post so effortlessly. Like he just he's way. This is why he's one of the top goalie prospects in the world. Is because That's okay. I mean, you know what? You know how hard it is to kill a 4-on-3 overtime penalty.
Well, it bobbled up and went over his shoulder, but.
All right, so the Preds lose in overtime, just as I'm praising Askarov, but that's okay because that goal is not on him.
No, that goal is on Cody Glass. What is wrong with you?
So that's 2 bad penalties from Cody Glass. So that's something he's going to definitely want to work on and address. I'm sure coaches will address that as well. You definitely cannot be taking penalties like that in overtime and put your team behind the 8 ball. And a 4-on-3 penalty kill is very it's just a weird situation to put your team in.
No matter who you're playing.
So definitely not the result we would want to see against the Lightning, who didn't play any of their top players.
No.
But also, only scoring 1 goal, definitely a little concerning.
Yeah.
You get 31 shots on goal. A lot of moments where the Predators just missed the net. There were more shots on goal to be had in this game.
Absolutely.
Forsberg missed the net a lot. You would expect that. He's been out of the game since February. So overall, no reason to get too upset or look into this too much. But next preseason game is again against the Lightning on, I believe, is it Friday? I think they play on Friday.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
So we will see how Brunette puts out that roster. But the Predators lose 2-1 to the Lightning at Bridgestone Arena with a lot of their top players making their preseason debuts.
Yeah.
Only putting in 1 goal, a little concerning, but be that as it may, it is preseason, and this is why you play the games to work out get it out of your system now.
Game's on Saturday.
All right. So they will be in Tampa to play the Lightning again. I would expect the Tampa Bay Lightning to throw out some of their top players in that game.
That's what I was getting ready to say. You will more than likely, you might not see all of them, but you're going to see the majority of them, I bet.
Probably will not see Vasilevsky. I would not expect them to put him out there.
Does he need to practice in the
dealing with his day-to-day injury that he's been going through? I don't know why they would rush him into a game like that.
No, I don't think that would be wise.
So the Predators have 3 more preseason games left. They have 1 more against the Lightning. Then they'll play the Carolina Hurricanes twice. And then it's game on.
Game on. I might take that day off.
You'll continue to probably see the roster trimmed a little bit. Players will start getting reassigned to their respective junior clubs and also to their other leagues that they're going to be participating in this year. That's why we're not seeing first-round pick Matthew Wood.
Yep.
This preseason is he is going to play. He's collegiately playing for the University of Connecticut.
Yep.
So that's why you haven't seen him out there. We have seen Tanner Molendyke, and speaking of standout players, I thought Tanner Molendyke looked really good in his preseason action in both the prospect showcase, but also against the Panthers. I thought he looked really good.
Yeah, he did.
You see that speed from Molendyke, and he could be the next. I don't want to put him on that kind of pedestal, but you do see could he kind of be the same type of Roman Josi type player down the road? That's what the organization is probably hoping for.
Yeah. Speaking of that prospect showcase, we probably talked about it, but Kimmel, man, he looked good too in that showcase.
And he also was not in tonight's. He was also not in tonight's preseason game.
Yeah. He's got a wicked shot, man. It's really good.
He really does.
Yeah,
really does. So we'll probably see Kimmel in Saturday's game. You would expect. We'll probably see Kimmel back. We'll probably see Fabro back. Hoping to see Yakov Trenin in that game. So you'll definitely see some players mixed in who didn't play tonight.
Yeah. I think Trenin played in the first game against Florida, didn't he? Or was it the second? I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I thought it was the first, but yeah. He was another one that Brunette said looked good at camp. Yakov Trenin.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, let's move along here on Catfish and Ice, episode 200, milestone episode. Thank you so much for getting us through another 100 episodes. Really appreciate you. Let's tell you about our sponsor, DraftKings. We're back with another week of football, and DraftKings Sportsbook is keeping us in on the NFL action with great offers every single game day. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. If you're listening to this episode on this Thursday, we're recording live on a Wednesday night, but if you're listening on Thursday, you got Thursday night football tonight. If you haven't gotten our DraftKings Sportsbook app yet and used our promo code THPN, you can bet on Thursday night football tonight. Sign up, use our promo code, bet the $5, and you're instantly going to get the $200 in bonus bets instantly. Throw 5 down in any of this week's epic matchups to walk away an instant winner, and DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September. September is almost over. You've got one more chance with this current offer. So football is more fun when you're in on the action. So download the app now and sign up with code THPN. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. With code THPN, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. License partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles, Louisiana. 21 and up. Age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
You did it.
I did it. Might be my best one yet.
Oh, and Kentucky people, online betting starts very soon.
Oh, wow. It's still not legal in Florida, which blows my mind.
That's
I feel
crazy.
like Florida's like the most out there state ever. Like, people do whatever they want down here, and somehow online sports gambling is not allowed.
Yeah. They want you to go watch the dog races and bet on highlight. So
I also forgot to mention, we were talking about all these preseason debuts. We didn't bring up Luke Shin. Luke Shin played on the top pairing with Roman Josi. So it seems more and more likely that that's probably what's going to be the top pairing for Nashville. It's going to be Luke Shin and Roman Josi.
I wouldn't have thought it, but that's good. I think he's going to be
I'm starting to wonder more and more, not just about Dante Fabro and Jeremy Lazan, but also Alexander Carrier.
Yeah, for sure.
Who was also not on the roster tonight.
Yep.
Against the Lightning.
I mean, I think Luke Shin's going to be the Roman Josi enforcer, is what it's going to look like. So,
I mean, some people out there say that the Predators overpaid for Shin, but we'll see. We'll see.
They paid for that experience. That's what it is. But we'll see what happens, I guess, like you said.
Let's move along here. I want to talk about the best goalie tandems in the NHL and where we would rank the Predators in that scenario, because I'm telling you right now, if they can figure out a way to have a more well-rested Saros down the stretch, especially if you're pushing for a playoff spot, then it's going to really do wonders for Saros's ability to give you those really big-time games that get you a win, and he can put you on his back. But if he goes into March and April completely worn down, he's going to give you some of these games where he's not seeing the puck well, and he's going to get roasted for 4 or 5 goals in some of these games, and that could be the difference in making the playoffs or not making the playoffs. And I think Kevin Lankinen did enough this past season, and you obviously like him a lot if you re-signed him to another 1-year deal. Otherwise, why would you have even done that?
Yeah, for sure.
So I expect Kevin Lankinen to get at least 5 to 10 more starts than he got last year. What do you think about that, Rich?
I hope so, because there were times, and we talked about it last season, where we were just puzzled that John Hines was playing Saros. Like there was stretches where I was like, you got to give this dude a break. Like there were games where he played Saros where Lankinen could have definitely started instead against, like, I don't want to say a lesser team, but like someone that, is not like Toronto or something crazy. So I'm hoping that Brunette does not do that, because I think Hines just wore him down. Just wore him down.
You look at the numbers, almost identical between Saros and Lankinen when it comes to save percentage, goals against average, almost identical. It's just obviously Saros had 63 starts, Lankinen had 18 starts.
18.
But you look at the numbers. Saros had a .919 save percentage, Lankinen a .916. Saros had a 2.69 GAA, goals against average, and Lankinen had a 2.75. So mirror images of each other there.
Yeah.
Sure. Quality starts, which basically rates, it's a whole analytical thing, but it rates how good of a start the goaltender had. Very similar there too. Quality start percentage, the percentage of starts were quality starts. Saros was 63%, Lankinen was 61%. Really bad starts, Saros had 9, Lankinen had 3. So very similar. Also, Saros led the league in goals saved above expected, which is my favorite category when I'm rating a goaltender, is how many extra goals did you save for your team?
Right.
That really shows you how big of an X factor that goalie was. And Lankinen was actually top 20 in the NHL. As a backup, he was still top 20 in goals saved above expected.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I was really happy to see them re-sign him, because I
was happy, but I didn't expect it.
I didn't expect it either. I thought he played well enough to get a look from somebody else.
I thought he was going to get an offer that the Predators just couldn't afford to do. I thought that there was going to be a higher bidder out there who would want to make Lankinen their starter, and obviously the Predators aren't going to overpay for a backup. So I thought I thought Lankinen was going to be lost, not because I wanted to lose him, but because I just thought we weren't going to be able to afford him. But they brought him back. The market wasn't super hot on him, I guess. And I think it's a huge benefit to this team that they got Lankinen back, and we didn't have to go shopping. We didn't have to go shopping for another backup that we didn't know about.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I guess maybe his so few starts might have had something to do with it, because he didn't get to play as much. But I think it's awesome to have a duo that's probably like definitely top 5 goalie duo in the league, for sure.
And bringing Lankinen back gives you another year for Yaroslav Askarov to really get his feet wet in the AHL. It's only going to be his second year in the AHL, so I love the fact that he's going to get one more full year playing in Milwaukee. I think that's great.
That is great.
I think it's great that we're not rushing Askarov into the league when he's maybe not quite ready yet, even as a backup. Absolutely. So I love that. So Lankinen is a key piece to this team that hasn't been talked about a lot because he is a backup goaltender, but I think he's extremely important and could be one of the major X factors into whether or not the Predators make the playoffs or not.
Absolutely. I agree.
And more teams are starting to adopt the approach of not riding one goaltender so heavily and dividing out the starts more evenly. Now, I'm not saying that the starts should be 50-50, Saros and Lankinen. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying that we've got to start. I think Burnett's definitely going to give Lankinen a lot more starts.
Yeah.
Because that's the overall theme around the league these days. And we're about to look at some other teams. You know all about it. The team that you like dearly after the Predators, the Boston Bruins. Tell us about the Boston Bruins and their formula with Jeremy Swayman, and of course Linus Ullmark was their bell cow. But Swayman was an outstanding backup, probably the best backup in the league.
He was, and I'm surprised he's actually still there. I don't remember if he had another year on his contract or whatever, but that dude will be a starter within the next couple of years for sure. You talk about putting in a goaltender that you can trust, and Swayman is definitely that goaltender for them.
Yeah, I would say they definitely have the best goalie duo in the league.
Yeah,
the Bruins do.
We'll see how it goes this year, but who knows? So name another one. What's another good dynamic duo?
So I listed them all in my article I wrote for Predlines a couple days ago, and when you look at Ullmark and Swayman, they finished in the top 3 in goals against average among goaltenders with at least 30 games. That right there is crazy. Mm-hmm. Think about that. The Bruins had 2 goaltenders in the top 3 in goals against average. Yep. Ullmark had a 1.89 goals against average, which that just seems like something out of a video game.
It is. That whole season
give up less
video.
And in this day and age in the NHL, to give up less than 2 goals per game is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
But Swayman as Ullmark's backup, 2.27 goals against average. We just mentioned where Lankinen and Saros was in that category, and they were significantly higher at 2.75 and 2.69. So Swayman appeared in let's do the comparison here to Lankinen, though. Swayman appeared in 18 more games than Lankinen. 18 more.
Yep.
That's significant.
That's that
so
trust.
It's not – yes, that's the trust thing. So are we looking for Lankinen to be more like a Jeremy Swayman for Saros?
That would be amazing. If he, like you said earlier, if he gave them like 10 more, that would be amazing.
Let's go to a different team. Let's talk about the defending Stanley Cup champion Golden Knights with Aiden Hill, who was the playoff wonder.
That dude was amazing.
They got Aiden Hill and another really good young goalie in their mid-20s, Logan Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
You figure they're going to run a similar thing that the Bruins do. They're going to divide those starts up, maybe 60-40, 55-45, somewhere around there, 60% to 40%. And I read a really interesting quote from Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy on Vegas Hockey Now's website. And he basically said, Bruce Cassidy, I think, is one of the better coaches in the league.
Yes.
Bruce Cassidy said that he doesn't want either goaltender to start 60-plus games, either goaltender. And we just mentioned that's our magic number for Saros is 60 games.
Yeah.
He doesn't want either goaltender to start 60-plus games. And who starts more throughout the season will be decided as things unfold. So it's more of a wait-and-see approach, make the decision throughout the season. So no one could ever imagine Lankinen stealing starts away from Saros, and I'm not saying that should happen either. But let's say Saros is going through a little bit of a rough patch, and Lankinen is on a hot streak.
Yeah,
that's when you might consider giving Lankinen back-to-back starts.
There's
nothing wrong with that. You can't be afraid to do that just because Saros is who Saros is. You've got to make the right decision for your team in the moment.
Yes, and I think goes back to mistakes that John Hines made last season. I guess he went with the just play through it and it'll all work out philosophy, but I don't think that's the best way to look at it at all.
So here's my top goalie duos in the league. Just short list. I got to put Ullmark and Swayman for the Bruins at the top. My second one would probably be Sorokin and Varlamov for the Islanders. So really, really strong duo there.
That is, yep.
I would go Aiden Hill and Logan Thompson for the Golden Knights. And then I would comfortably put Saros and Lankinen at number 4.
That's good. Yep.
I would also, I'm a little hesitant, but I still got to do it. I would probably put at number 5 Igor Shesterkin and Jonathan Quick, who just joined the Rangers this past offseason. I know Jonathan Quick's way past his prime, but as a backup, that's still pretty good because Quick can still win you some games. Yes. He still is one of the better goalies of his generation.
He is. Yeah.
To have him as a backup is still pretty strong.
Yeah, and to have that experience, and that's what it is. Absolutely, yeah. That
So
is a
I
good
would
deal.
I would put that up there, but I put the Predators with Saros and Lankinen
Mhm.
right among those teams.
Yeah,
And you got to think, Rich, there's teams out there who don't even know if they can trust their starting goaltender right now,
yeah,
much less trusting their backup. So the
yeah,
Predators are a very fortunate team that other teams would love to be in that situation
yeah.
where
Oh,
they
for
have two
sure.
goaltenders they can trust. So
Yeah, or
that's a
you,
good problem. It's a good problem to have.
yeah, or you have these teams that have all these superstar players making a bunch of money, and they can't really afford a good goaltender. I'm looking at Toronto. Toronto's like that. Edmonton's kind of like that. I mean,
Imagine if Toronto or Edmonton had a
oh
Juuse Saros on their team.
yeah. Well, if Toronto had a UC Saros, they wouldn't have a Matthews, Mitch Marner, Nylander. you'd
Very
have a
true.
you'd have a
With
you'd
the
have a
salary cap,
Matthews
yeah.
and maybe a Nylander, but probably not a Mitch Marner.
Another team I left off that I think has a pretty solid duo that you could maybe put in the top five: Philip Gustafsson and Marc-Andre Fleury for the Wild. That's a pretty good duo.
Yeah, yeah.
Not too shabby.
Fleury's getting up there a little bit though.
He kind of had a rough year last year, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got and the teams in front of him sometimes kind of let him down, but I like that dude though.
Definitely think in the early goings of this season, I would say over the first month of this season, I would really like to see Lankinen get at least one start every 5 games.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Somewhere around that rate, even if it's not because the Predators don't play a back-to-back for a while.
Yeah, good.
So there's definitely going to be situations where you start Lankinen even though it's not a back-to-back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's never going to play.
Yeah,
not to be so negative here, but let's remember how bad everything worked out for David Riddick.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that dude played in one game for the first 3 months, and then they finally threw him in there, and the dude just got roasted.
He did pretty much every time he went in, and then at the end of the season when Saros got hurt and he had to go play against Colorado,
that was not even fair. That was so wrong. I want to wish that on my worst enemy. And then he ended up on that really bad blooper where he ran into his own post.
Oh, I saw that the other day. That's still
that's going to live in infamy forever.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Poor guy. He's a good dude. I know our friend Lindsay is a big David Riddick guy, but just his time with Nashville was just not very good, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was a weird time for sure, but it is what it is.
So yeah, my range for Saros is 55 to 60 starts. That's where I'm comfortable with.
I like the 55 number. There's just no reason to do what they did to him last year. And it was, he had some amazing games, but I don't know. Just
there are people who are going to push back on this whole thing, on this whole notion, though, because, and I'm not saying they're wrong if they have this criticism of this approach, but people will say, well, isn't Saros the MVP of this team for the past 3 years? Isn't the only reason the Predators even sniffed the playoffs for the past 3 years is because of Saros? And that's true, but at the same time, what happened when we got down the stretch of the season and also going into the playoffs, didn't even make the playoffs last year? You had a beat down and wore down Saros that wasn't at the top of his game.
Yeah, for sure. And then the year before, they had that amazing 3/4 of the season, and I've said it before. And then down the stretch, the last quarter, it was horrible. So, what's the point of that? That doesn't get you anywhere either. So
we will wait and see how everything goes there. All right, tell us in the comment section below on YouTube, how do you think the Predators should handle Saros and Lankinen this year? Should Saros still be the workhorse? Is he the MVP of this team? You got to start him every chance you get. Do you not trust Lankinen enough, or do you trust Lankinen enough? And do you think this 1-2 punch for the Predators can be one of their secret weapons to return to the playoffs? Tell us what you think about that. Also, hit us up on X right now and comment down below and let us know what you think about that. Love to hear from you there. All right, so it's episode 200, milestone episode. I've been going back and looking at the last 100 episodes, going back to January of 2022 when we did episode 100, when we did that listener appreciation episode, which was so fun. So I've gone back and just looked at some of these episodes over the last 100. How about this one, the Pekka Rene jersey retirement episode in episode 108? That was a fun one.
Oh, yeah. There was tears shed in that
one. I mean, you can just read some of these
we were super
episode
emotional.
titles, and they're pretty funny, some of these episode titles. Yeah. But let's go to episode 124.
Let's do that.
Oh, episode 122 was named What the Hell Happened Against the Blues. That must have been a bad one. Yeah. All right. Episode 124 was an episode where we had live reaction as the Preds clinched the playoffs. That was the last time the Predators clinched the playoffs. It was coming up on all of that good stuff. And we talked about what classic movies reminds us of this Predators season.
This ought to be good.
And let's go ahead and play the clip right now. If you're ready for it, Rich.
I'm ready.
I'm gonna play it into the microphone.
Let's see.
All right.
Well, there's the goal. They gave it to him? Yep. Wow. Unbelievable. Oh, my God. That is unbelievable.
Oh, that's Kyle Perkins.
Well, this is a perfect segue into my next movie, gentlemen.
You little punks.
Guess what my next movie is, gentlemen? You ready for this one? And I actually put this on here before all this fiasco happened here. Titanic with a question mark. Are we on the Titanic, and are there enough lifeboats?
And
you know what scares me? You know what scares me? You know what scares me? Me, Rich, and Kyle, we're the band. We're playing. We're playing till the end.
Playing on.
We don't get on the lifeboats.
For sure.
But everyone else. Well, so episode 124 was going great during that Predator season, apparently.
I remember that. That was funny. Another one I remember.
Real quick, that reminds everyone who's still new to the show and hasn't actually listened to this podcast during the actual season. You've maybe just been listening during the off season, and we appreciate you joining us, jumping on board with us for the 2023-24 season. We're going to do these live watch-along episodes where it's like we're watching with you in your living room.
It's crazy.
And that's how we get. And it's a lot of fun, but sometimes it gets ugly.
It does get ugly, for sure. Yeah. Apparently it did that night.
Do you have one you remember?
I do. It was Kyle Perkins. We were watching they were playing the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Vegas Golden Knights were wearing their jerseys that were all sparkly.
Mm-hmm.
And they were wearing their gold chrome helmets. And Kyle Perkins
I miss that dude.
He said, man, that's rednecks love like glitter, like on bass boats. He's bass boat stripper glitter or something like that. And I couldn't even talk. Because I was laughing so hard. Yeah, but that was good. Yeah, it was awesome. Kyle always would make me laugh so much. He was so funny. We got to get him back on here.
Yeah, the wireless headphones just died on me. Sorry about that. Yeah, that Vegas game was. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah,
stripper glitter.
Bass boat.
That's one of the best quotes of this podcast of all time.
I think so.
If we were going to come out with a line of T-shirts, one of our T-shirts would just say Bass Pro Shop stripper glitter.
There it is. That's it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out to you, Kyle Perkins.
We're still going to try to find some time for us to all get on an episode together at some point this season. Sure. We have to work that out. It's so hard. Yeah. I mean, we're doing between me and Rich's schedules lately. It's hard to find a night to record, but if we could get us all together for an episode, that'd be great. A watch-along episode would be a lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. We'll have to get with Kyle and see what his schedule looks like. For sure.
Oh, how about when we did our bracket of most hated teams by Predators fans.
Yeah, I remember
That was a lot of fun. That was in episode 141. So that was the summer of 2022.
Yep.
And the Blackhawks won in
They did.
sweeping fashion.
Yep.
But I do remember there being a few upsets, if I remember correctly. I think the Dallas Stars went farther than we thought. I really can't remember.
Yeah.
I'd have to go
I
back.
can't remember. I think Pittsburgh was like second.
Oh, yeah, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh ran away with it on one
Yeah.
side of the bracket, and
Yeah.
Chicago ran away with it
That's
on
right.
the other side.
Yeah, I remember that. That's for sure.
That was a fun one.
That was fun. I like it's been a really long time ago, and it was probably in the first 100 when we talked about the mascots.
That was early. That's like one of the first
Yeah.
10 episodes.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was when our
Those were
friend
great.
Colin was on the show still
Yep.
as a co-host. And
Yeah.
I mean, we ranked all of our,
That
I
was
don't know if
fun.
we ranked them, but we definitely talked about
No.
our favorites and our
We
least
made
favorites.
fun of them. I know that.
That's going way back there, man.
That is way back. Yeah, that one's good. And then when we talked about the goal songs, that was good. That was always
So how
fun.
crazy is this? We've done exactly 50 episodes since the beginning of last regular season, because episode 150 was when they're reacting to the Preds sweeping their global series against the San Jose Sharks.
That's right.
Little did we know what was in store for us during that season.
Just pain and disappointment.
This is why it's fun to kind of go back in time
Yeah.
and listen to the archived episodes,
Yeah.
because you can listen to what
Yep.
we were thinking at the time.
Yep. And
And in this episode, we literally previewed the Dallas Stars as being the next team up. And oh boy,
yeah.
we were not ready for that.
No, it got ugly quick. Yeah, if you want to listen to some guys be like super excited, go back to not last season but the season before, when we were like tempering our expectations in the preseason, and then they started just like killing everybody, and we're like, oh my gosh, it's happening, this is so awesome, and then just only to be let down in the end.
How about episode 156? It was the first indication I'm getting where we really started talking about John Hines' seat getting warm.
Yeah.
Episode 156, the Predators got crushed by the Oilers. Like, it was just really bad. And we asked the question, is Hines' seat getting warmer? That was in November.
Yep.
That was November 3rd, 2022. We were on it. We were on top of it. We asked, will John Hines make it through the season in that episode?
Yeah, I think I said he could be gone like by January that year. But he didn't.
Kiefer Sherwood had went to waivers. We talked about that, and luckily he cleared waivers. That's kind of crazy. I actually forgot that Kiefer Sherwood got sent to waivers, and now all of a sudden you're really happy that you held on to Kiefer Sherwood, because a lot of people have the expectation that Kiefer Sherwood's going to, at the very least, be on your fourth line.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting to go back and look at that.
I like him.
Oh yeah. Gotta love that. Going through. So now we're into last season's episodes, and
just pain.
A lot of pain. Just pain.
Just pain.
Pure pain. Good stuff though, for sure. We had we had a lot of great guests this past year. The Vegas Fever podcast joined us to talk about the Golden Knights matchup. That was a great one. We had Aaron Sims, who covers the Admirals as a play-by-play announcer. He joined us. We had our friend Kyle Pereira, who does NHL scouting for the draft. He joined us. It has been really hard to get guests on lately, by the way. Everyone's busy. Everybody has a lot going on. I am working my butt off to get some guests. I don't want to mention this person yet by name because it's not completely set in stone yet, but I'm working on getting an outstanding bi-weekly guest to join us every other week for an episode to talk about everything Preds and everything NHL that has happened between the two visits. And so I'm really hoping this guest will be able to join us. I've already spoken to this person and they're really excited about that, and they're getting their studio set up. They just moved to a new place, so they're getting their studio set up. They want to make sure they're all ready and set up. But stay tuned for that. It's a really awesome guest if we can pull it off. So stay tuned for that. And we're going to continue to work on getting more guests onto the show because we love bringing people on the show.
My favorite guest, though, it's got to be Robbie Stanley.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that dude's you want to talk about busy. That dude.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That dude just had a new child.
Yep.
He does his morning radio show.
Yep.
Plus, he does all of his Nashville sports coverage. So that you want to talk about someone who's busy.
Yeah, for sure. But shout out to him. He's an awesome guy.
And then we go back to episode 186 that we're getting closer to where we are now. John Hines' era officially ends in Smashville. Andrew Burnett in. That was a crazy episode for sure.
Facebook celebrates. Facebook got everything they wanted this year. They got rid of David Poyle and they got rid of John Hines.
We'll have to go back and listen to our insane predictions for 2023. I already forgot them.
Me too.
We counted down our top 20 players in Predators history. That was a 2-part episode. That was a lot of fun.
That was.
And so there you have it. That's what we've gone through over the last 100 episodes. Hopefully we're fortunate enough to bring you 100 more. We will see how it all goes. Yep. But Rich, it's been a pleasure, man. I love doing this podcast with you. You're a really good friend of mine, and I appreciate everything you do.
You're mine
and until the next time, we will we're going to look to get one more episode in before the season opens up against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Looking to get a Tampa Bay Lightning beat reporter on the show as well to get us ready for that. So stay tuned for all that. Thanks everyone for watching on YouTube. Hit subscribe, comment below. Please. Thank you for watching on Facebook and on X as well. Hit the follow button, comment on the show. All right, Rich, take care, man. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see everybody later. Take care.
Have a good one.